morning, good morning. Hello, guys. I'm back. This is Angela. Welcome to the City of Healing, where the city is within. And I do hope that you all are doing well. It's a beautiful morning, a beautiful Wednesday. I was born on Wednesday. And on my way, of course, to work, taking these back roads, enjoying the view, and just preparing myself for another great day, and I hope that you all are too. But basically what I wanted to come forth and talk about is something I touched on yesterday when I did my video about stress and basically checking in with yourself. And I mentioned high blood pressure or hypertension. Now there's so much that can be said about that, and I don't say everything I know or think about or want to talk about in one video, because I don't do long videos. I try not to anyway. But hypertension, as I mentioned, is the silent killer, because one can function and be comfortable functioning at a very high blood pressure. And of course, everybody's blood pressure, normal for everybody, is different. But, usually the standard, they say, is 120/80. The systolic and the top number, and the diastolic, the bottom number. How strong the blood is flowing through the heart, how much pressure it takes to push the blood through the heart, basically, is blood pressure. And the reason we don't want that blood pressure high is because, it's just like water running through a pipe. The heavier the flow, or the more often the flow is, the more damage there's going to be to the pipe. The same way, even though our blood vessels are elastic, all of us don't really take care of our blood vessels, and they can be brittle and they can be hardened, and cause damage, to the heart, and constrict the flow of blood. So blood pressure is basically how your blood is flowing through your body, and you don't want it flowing too heavily, because it can cause damage to your blood vessels and constriction. And constriction is a very dangerous thing, because it can build up blood pressure. And there's several reasons, for high blood pressure, but the number one reason is stress. Not necessarily stress that you're going through everyday life. It's just stress on the body from how we take care of it, the foods we eat, our lifestyle, etc., etc. Stress is the main cause of hypertension. And I'm just, and a lot of other things, but I'm pertaining it to hypertension at this time. Like I said, there's several reasons for high blood pressure. It could be related to our lifestyle. It could be a part of it is how, our constitution, how we were born. I know I have a cousin who's, we're not sure why, but even since she was younger, maybe like 12, her blood pressure is extremely high, and she didn't even know it. But basically, several things that cause high blood pressure: our lifestyle, how active or inactive we are, the foods we eat, the salt in our food, particularly table salt. And I say any salt, even though Himalayan salt have all of the minerals and electrolytes that we want or need, but it's still salt, so that needs to be in moderation too. But sodium, the table salt, is very toxic to our bodies. And salt is hidden in a lot of things, a lot of foods. And one way we can, if we not eating, from the land, we have to monitor this amount of salt in our food and by cooking our own foods for one, and then if we eating or drinking, look at the labels. And sometimes labels don't tell all the truth, but if it's greater than 5% recommended daily allowance, it's way, way, way too much. So always look at labels, and most labels are going to be more than 5%, but just FYI, you really have to look at the salt content. Also, other diseases can cause high blood pressure, like diabetes. Also, heavy metals in our blood can cause high blood pressure. So, if you can, and people are starting to ask for it more now, but you can ask for a heavy metals test to see if you have any heavy metals in your urine and your blood, and have chelation therapy to get rid of those heavy metals. Other things that can cause high blood pressure is anxiety and stress, EMFs in the system, electromagnetic frequencies, like cell phones, cell towers. Those types of things can cause high blood pressure. So many different things that I'm probably not even remembering to mention right now, that I'll probably remember later to mention in another video. But those are types of things to consider. But most importantly, as I mentioned, stress. What type of stress is your body going through? So that's where we need to start. And I know some of us don't like to go to the doctor, but excuse me, sometimes we need to go to have tests done. And excuse me, and the thing with hospitals and clinics and doctors is that there's an overuse of it, in the United States, and we're not taking care of ourselves as we should. So we do realistically use doctors more than we should. And yes, there are people that are on blood pressure medications, and of course there are side effects to blood pressure medications, but in some instances those side effects for some people outweigh the side effects of the medication. I know patients in their 80s taking blood pressure medications and have been for years and years. I know people probably in their 40s that try to go the naturalistic way and still have had heart attack and stroke due to the silent hypertension state. So, I've just seen it. It's nothing that I experienced or read. It's just something that I've actually just seen. So I don't talk about a lot about foods we should eat, a lot about herbs. All of those things are important, but I just basically, I think my theme is talking about ways to getting in touch and knowing yourself, know thyself, and relieving stress. And yeah, I know a lot about foods. I know a lot about herbs, this, that, and the other. And I'm not against medication. I am against that we overuse it. I'm not against vitamins and supplements. I've even talked to doctors about supplements and this, that, and the other, and they say no, it's there's no evidence that say, true evidence that says that minerals and supplements are helpful for the human body. But still, and I've asked one doctor, after a code, and that saved a patient's life, that gave him magnesium. And magnesium is an electrolyte that's very essential to the body, especially the heart, and calming the heart muscle. So, sometimes I don't think we think about, the benefit of minerals and supplements in our lives, because the more stress that your body is under, are taken in, the more you're going to lose, the harder the heart has to work, and the more magnesium and potassium and calcium you are using. So, just eating a healthy meal once or twice a day is not going to necessarily work for some people. So we have to think of the holistic picture of how we are really taking care of the planet, and go on a individual basis, because everybody is different. And I say there are lots of things that we can do to help our body, and I have lots of holistic books on naturopathic medicine and healing techniques, etc., etc. And I could go through that different disease process and talk about that on my channel, but I don't really want to do that all the time. But I will do that for some situations. But certain things that we can do for high blood pressure is making sure that we're staying active. We're walking. Walking is the king of exercise. Meditation, yoga is very essential for calming and relaxing the body. Aromatherapy is excellent. I love lemongrass, that helps me. Lavender is excellent. Body massages, acupuncture, acupressure, qigong. I can go on and on and on about things that we can do for our body physically. Staying away from processed foods and table salt is essential. Also, let's consider types of herbs that we can also consume. Hawthorn is excellent. Passion flower is good for relaxing the nerves of the body. Valerian root is good. Let's see what else. Coenzyme 10 is excellent. I took that once before, and I noticed like maybe a 5 to 10 millimole per mercury difference in my blood pressure at the time. So that, my blood pressure is not high anyway, but I noticed a difference in my blood pressure when I was taking it. As we get older, we lose that coenzyme 10, on our heart muscles. So that's very essential. The more your body is working, the more stress your body is under, the more you're going to lose. And the older you get, the more you're going to lose. So coenzyme 10 is very essential. And garlic, oh my goodness, garlic is I know Dr. Sabi didn't agree with it because it's a hybrid food, but it works miracles, and specifically for blood pressure. Fish oil is also really good. Omega-3s, omega-9s. Let's see. So many different other things I could probably mention, and you could probably Google and research on how to naturally control your blood pressure. And I'm not against blood pressure medicine, but I think for an acute or immediate high blood pressure is very, very essential. And some people really, really need blood pressure. I don't care how much salt they take. That's just their natural state of being, is in a stressful state, and their blood pressure stays high no matter what. But eventually it's gonna do a lot of wear and tear on the blood vessels. So, and also we as women, we, after a certain age, certain hormones are imbalanced, and we're not able to physically control, the hormones and the stress in our lives. We need to consider that as well. There's so many other things that we can talk about to control blood pressure, but the main point I wanted to put out there is that of, stress in our lives. How much stress are you putting on your body by the foods that you eat, your lifestyle, what you are allowing in your life? What are you doing to practice self-love and relaxation and care are all essential points of controlling your blood pressure. These are the things we need to consider. These are the things that we should be doing every day. And I just wanted, again, to come forth and remind us of that, to take care of yourself, especially in the healthcare field. This is National Nurses Week, so I just want to remind nurses or healthcare workers in general, we have to take care of ourselves. You know, I feel bad when I don't feel well and I can't take care of patients, because you have to be well. We have to take care of ourselves. Self first, but not self only. Anyway, thanks for visiting the city, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. Talk to you soon. Bye.